way to Salt Lake City. I got upgraded to first class in the 90s where you could get upgraded. And sitting directly in front of me is Batman, literally directly in front of me. Sitting cat-a-corner from me across the aisle is, what's his name? Robert Redford. They both have homes in Salt Lake City. And so Batman was in front of me. And Robert Redford was off diagonally. Was that a fun plane ride or what?
Bat plane.
The bat plane, yes. Bat plane. You better. You need to help Michael Neal get in.
Yeah, you might, if you are using Chrome, Michael Neal, you might need to give
Adam West.
permission.
Thank you.
Give permission to your browser to use your microphone and camera. If you click on the padlock sign next to the browser, next to the URL at the top of the browser, if you click on that padlock sign, it shows you the different options where you can allow BLAB to access your camera and microphone.
Well, Bill Vick, I'm going to put you on the spot right now in front of millions and millions of people. Will you finally do a chapter with me in my video book? I'm working on chapters 21 to 29 as we speak. Would you honor me and be a chapter in my book? You can put it in the event stream.
Event stream?
Well, the BLAB stream on the right-hand side.
Oh, tweet, you mean?
Yes, tweet it. It's even better. The rest of the world will know. So you're telling, I didn't realize that. So every...
Oh, he lobs it right back at you, David.
Sorry, Bill. Please accept my humble apology.
Since you said you would be calling.
So tell me, Vivek, on the right-hand side of the screen, any time that somebody enters there, that becomes a tweet?
Yes, and you need to, and I told you yesterday as well, you need to go there and say hello.
Well, I already said hello publicly.
No, you have to say hello on the Twitter stream.
Oh, okay. It's too much work, man. I want to talk.
It's not too much work. It's like, okay, here is the analogy for you. You go into a networking meeting, a physical networking meeting, where there is, let's say, breakfast served or coffee or some lunch or whatever. It would be inappropriate, rude, completely out of, normal practice if you just rush to the food place and grab hold of a plate and you need to meet people, shake hands with them.
You want to talk about that for a moment? Because I have plenty of experience with live networking. A couple comments. Yes, live networking is very, very important, particularly if you have a business.
No, the analogy is similarly here as you come into.
Now I got to feed myself first before I'll talk to anybody.
You need to say hello on the Twitter feed that
I'll say it live. Hello to Bill and Vicky and Christine and VDO and Entreprisman. Interesting. Entreprisman and Avon CT Style and Leon Wagner and Bill Vicky. Welcome to all of you. And I guess it's about time to stop fooling around and get down to the business of the day.
Yeah.
Let me set up why Vivek and I are doing what we are doing. About 2 months ago, as we were talking what our individual business plans were going to be for 2016. And yes, I work 6 months in advance on what my business plan is going to be. We talked about a concept, and we have actually developed a website, a web page, and what we are calling a technology and marketing and sales audit. Now, the reason that we did that was very, very simple. What small business owners don't do a very good job of, and I can speak from over 40 years of experience, myself included, and folks that I have interacted with over the last 40 years, we don't take a proper amount of time to step back from our businesses to try to really understand what is working or what is not working. If it's working, I say keep on going. If it's not working, you've got a couple choices. You can try to figure out why it's not working and make changes to your strategy, changes to your processes, changes to your system. Or you can delete it altogether and put a new business objective in its place. And that's not a bad thing, my friends. People say, oh, wow, what if I have to make a change like that? What's that going to do to my business? It's going to make your business stronger because you recognize that your business needs to change. So you're going to make that change. You're going to either fix what doesn't work or delete it and create an objective and try to make it work to the best of your ability. So we came up with this audit, and Vivek, we didn't do it jointly. Vivek stepped off, I stepped back, and Vivek, with his expertise in technology and small business technology, and I can attest to it and speak to it because he has helped me tremendously. He has assisted me in making major changes in the way that I do business. And so, Vivek, thank you for doing that.
Thank you. I am keeping an eye on the right-hand side of the screen.
Good. We might have to hire somebody and pay him to keep an eye on the right-hand side of the screen. So, Vivek came up with 7 questions. I came up with 7 marketing and sales questions because that's my expertise. We got back together and brainstormed each of our questions and changed them a little bit, fine-tuned them a little bit, and created what we are calling an audit. Now, we have both agreed that anybody who will take the time to step back from your business, answer the 14 questions that are in the audit, and they're not difficult questions. They're very simple, basic questions about your small business. If you'll take the time to do that, submit it, Vivek and I will take our time and talk with you privately or publicly if you want. We'll do it privately. We'll talk with you about the answers that you have provided, and if you need assistance, want assistance, we will set you in the right direction on that. Is that right, Vivek?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
So for the last, we decided that we were going to market the concept in BLAB. And the reason we did it, a friend of mine, Stan Bush, invited me to a BLAB over a week ago. And it was his BLAB, and I came in, and he just wanted to really share with me the technology. And, Stan knows I'm a marketing guy. Stan and I are friends, and
Finally.
There we go. Finally, Michael Neal is with us. Good afternoon, Mike. What time zone are you in?
Eastern Standard. I switched to my phone because I couldn't get either of my computers to work.
Well, good afternoon to you then. No, actually, still good morning. It's not afternoon Eastern yet. So, Stan invited me into his blab, he's been blabbing for a couple weeks now, and I was fascinated. I was really fascinated about the technology, and it's not so much that it's better technology than Vivek and I use on a daily basis. That's not necessarily the case. It's a new technology for us, and opens up new doors of opportunity for us. And we as small business owners are looking for as many doors of opportunity to open as we possibly can. And it's interesting. When
it works correctly.
Pardon me?
When it works correctly, it's dropped dead.
Actually, Vivek, you better do a tutorial on BLAB technology. Actually, it's not a bad idea.
No, BLAB technology.
We lost his sound. He's got to leave, I guess.
Yeah, we lost his sound. I've used it.
I know what he's going to say. I know
I've
the
used
answer.
it many times. Yeah, I've used it many times, and I've never had the problem that I just had.
Well, what Vivek was going to tell you, I'm absolutely sure he was going to say this to you, that BLAB is in beta testing right now. Right. And so when you're in a beta test, things might change at the moment or in the next moment, and you don't really know that they've changed. You have to deal with what is there and what's available.
I understand.
Vivek, I am not a technology person, but I answered your question. How about that, man?
He got the $50 too.
Now he's trying to figure out how to get back in. I can see his eyes going from screen to screen, and he's got.
Okay, look at the top of your address bar for the lock.
He knows what to do.
I was kidding.
He is. I've been working with Vivek for a couple years now, informally for a couple years, formally for over a year now, and he is the most creative developer, engineer that I've ever met. I was tuning your horn, Vivek.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, Vivek.
Yes, we can.
I can.
Yes,
Michael?
Can.
Yeah, I like Michael's sense of humor already. He's my kind of guy. Okay, so we decided that as we wanted to share this marketing, sales, technology audit with the rest of the world, instead of doing it in Google Plus and Hangouts, where we are both well known, we both have built up strong followings. We wanted to try something new, so we picked BLAB. So we said, okay, let's do 14 consecutive days of blabbing, and each day we will deal with a different question. One day it'll be a technology question of Vivek's. The next day it'll be a marketing, sales, technology question, a marketing, sales question from me. So here we are. We're in day 5. And today's question is, look who's coming on board, Laura Williams.
I don't know how long I'll stay here. I've got crappy lungs and an uncooperative heart, and today is not one of my better days.
An uncooperative heart?
Yeah.
You have heart issues?
Yeah.
What are your heart issues? Because I have plenty of them. What are yours?
I know the ones I have, but they're actually evaluating me right now for some others because it seems that things are getting worse. But it's just,
well, maybe
medicine now just can do, especially with hearts, can do such amazing things that I would just like them to fix whatever it is so I get my energy back, and I would be very happy about that.
I have had 5 heart surgeries in my lifetime.
Have you really?
None of them are heart attacks. I was born with bad heart parts, and fortunately in my lifetime they've all been fixed. So
yeah, mine are mostly electrical, not physiological so much, but they're electrical.
So were mine. Have you ever had a catheter ablation?
No. I mean, I've had a heart cath before. I think that they've been telling me for years eventually I have to get a pacemaker. So I don't know what the evaluation is. Like I said, I just went and had some tests done, but
I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to show you. I'm not going to pull my shirt up, but right where I'm pointing is a defibrillator pacemaker.
Yeah, I would be really happy with that, to be honest with you, because to get rid of this being tired, this fatigue all the time, and I have COPD, so, you know, my lungs are not worth a crap. And then, whatever, I would just like to get my energy back. I've always had so much energy in this last year. That's why I quit doing my shows. Has been pretty rough. So
let's do a private blab or private whatever and talk about that. Because,
I know, right? Let's chat about that.
I had my first heart surgery 21 years ago, and so I've been dealing with stuff.
Well, you look fantastic. You wouldn't know that you were dealing with those types. Well, maybe that's what they did the repairs, but
to that point, and I've never really. And it's interesting to hear you talk about that. You've had an energy kind of deficiency. I teach 8 exercise classes a week. So an energy deficiency has never really been a part of my whole. I've been fortunate. I've been blessed. God watches over me very, very closely. And so, but I have high blood pressure. I take high blood pressure medication because of the defibrillator pacemaker.
Right. Yeah, I do too. They just doubled mine. That's one of the things I'll just go through real quick is that they're having trouble controlling my blood pressure.
There is a seat available if a doctor wants to jump in.
That's right. But I have really bad chest pressure and dizzy spells and yada yada.
What kind of blood
so
pressure? What is a common blood pressure for you? Numbers.
A good one's like 140/90, but I mean, it obviously goes a lot higher. And now they're finding that when I stand up, my blood pressure drops like 30 to 40 points.
Well, 140/90. The 90 part, in my case, I would start to become concerned with a diastolic pressure of 90.
Oh yeah, they're not happy.
My doctor, based upon all the stuff I've got going on in me, he wants me to be. My target is to be in the range of 130/70. So
yeah,
I've got do you have a blood pressure cuff in your home?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
I take my blood pressure a couple times a day, based upon where I am in the day, based upon my exercise, et cetera, et cetera. So yeah, we're getting away from topic, but let me add one final thing to that. I'm having some serious knee issues right now. I know what it isn't, but I don't know what it is. Yesterday I had, I hung out with Sheila Strover, who is the knee guru in the UK. And it was a wonderful 15 or 20 minutes. And she shared with me her top level expertise about what could be going on with my knee. And it's wonderful. I mean, I was so blessed once again to be able to know Sheila from my past. And then to say, can we hang out? I've got some issues. And
well, you're an information person like me. I could deal with anything if you just give me all the information and let me know what the heck's going on, and then I could take it from there. But it's when you don't know, things get difficult.
Okay, well, let's get back on.
Yes, that's why I got in. I didn't get
David,
in.
Yes,
Mario Patrano says,
I see that.
Meditation helps.
That meditation. Talk to Vivek. I hear meditation helps every day of my life. I want to hear something new.
Yeah.
And attitude, not just in your health, but in your business too. Your attitude is the most important business asset that you have.
Some people cannot do meditation. They cannot. They just are so
high-strung. High-strung.
Headstrong, yes.
No, not headstrong. High-strung. High-strung.
Yeah. So they cannot do it. Why? And it's there was that other saying related, not in a pleasant way, but those who need antiperspirant, they don't use it.
I need some antiperspirant.
Oh my goodness, that's funny.
You can't smell me virtually, Vivek, can you?
No. It's like that. Those who actually need meditation most often find it very hard to do it. That's my point. Those who need the those who need the smell repellent stuff, they don't use it. Why? No one knows. But
it's well, you know me, because we talk about meditation maybe 4 or 5 times a week, and Vivek and I do, and he meditates every day, and it's an important part of his life. He wants me to start meditating, and to his point, I meditate in a different kind of way. It's definitely not the way that I'm supposed to be meditating. And actually, when I do exercise, for me, that takes me into a zone which is probably the same kind of zone that he feels when he's meditating. He'll argue with me about that, but that's my analogy. Okay, let's get down to a discussion of video marketing, because that's why we are blabbing today.
Yeah, yesterday I was exactly on that point. Yesterday I was watching a blab by Ronnie Binzer. I think Mark Trapphagen also jumped in for a short period. I mean, this was a recording. No, not. It didn't happen yesterday. It was a recording. But they were talking about video and trust.
Mm-hmm.
That was earlier this week. I didn't. Yeah. I haven't actually seen it yet, but I.
And one of the things that video does is enables you to establish a trust with whoever is trying to interact with you, whoever you are trying to interact with. Mainly because there are so many things. I mean, as humans, we are very blessed is one word. Yes, we are capable of understanding what the other person really means. When someone says something, body language, we do understand a lot of body language without really going through any elaborate course or study or anything. We do understand a lot of body language. And for that, the visual cues come when you watch someone talk to you. So, and in that discussion, they were talking about video and podcast. What's the difference? So my take on that is actually video allows you to establish trust, but podcast provides you the continuity.
Well, I think it's approachability too.
Yeah, which means if you start with the video and you establish a trust, it's more likely that you would then go on to listen to that person on a podcast. So
right,
continuity is more likely to happen when you already have the trust.
Well, to that point, I've got 2 comments, Vivek. One comment is, and I said it yesterday, but it's appropriate to say it again today. Next Sunday, I'm doing a chapter in my video book with Ronnie Binzer and with David Amerlin, and we're going to talk about trust. We're going to talk about trust in our personal lives. We're going to talk about trust in our businesses. And then it's a fine line, but they work very closely together. And there's no more trusted individuals on the internet in their categories than Ronnie Binzer and David Amerlin. So it's going to be I'm so excited about it. It's going to be a very powerful discussion. But another point I wanted to make, here I am, and we're talking about trust. Now, you are in the UK, and I don't know exactly where you are in your house, but you're close to your kitchen. You're in maybe your living room. I don't know where Laura is. I don't know where David is, who just joined us. I'm in a corner of my bedroom in my home. This is where my studio is. So talking about trust, and I'm in my home, and I'm talking to you from my home, and that's the beauty of what video marketing, HOAs, BLAB, whatever technology that you're using allows you to do. It puts you into the real world, and then you decide what kind of image or what kind of branding you want to present based on your opportunity to do your video marketing. And quite honestly, Vivek and I do a tremendous amount of video marketing on his behalf, on my behalf, on our behalf. We do. I do things with him that he's trying to do. He helps me on things that I'm trying to do, and together we do a tremendous amount of video marketing. I chose this technology. When I say this technology, video marketing, as publishing my third book, because I love doing videos. I'm not great at writing, and I admit it, but I love to do videos because that's how I best communicate, the message. That's how I best share what I'm all about, and so I love to do videos. I've got approaching 1,000 YouTube videos that I've been doing for the last 3 years on entrepreneurship and small business. That's my expertise. And I'll just say, wow, I want to talk about that right now. So I create whatever technology and I go in and I do it, and it's there. Yeah. And I don't blab. I don't do a lot of blab. I don't do a lot of blogging, written blogging, because I don't enjoy writing as much as I enjoy doing videos. So it has worked into my strategy extremely well, and that's why we do it.
You know what's interesting too is that with video, it's such so many different prongs to it. I mean, you could do videos like this. You can do tutorials. You can do something maybe that has to do with the news in your industry. There's so many different things that you can do. And it's interesting to me. I have a 10-year-old grandson. He's a pretty smart little guy. But then he sees it. He's taking up photography. So he says, well, I need to look for, go on YouTube and look for videos, show me how to do this. And he said, I'd like to make some videos for kids and this and that. But he just automatically sees all the benefits that video has as far as not just the humanness of us like we're doing here, but the learning aspects and the communication. That it's just really fascinating.
David Cripps, we have two Davids. David Cripps, please introduce yourself, and you have been patiently waiting to have a say.
Sure, no worries. Hi, I'm Dave. The reason I jumped on is because I do a lot of video at my workplace. Actually, we have a few different things that we do to capitalize with video. We do a podcast as well. We do a show. First of all, I'm in the automobile industry. That's where my history is in selling and running dealerships, and now I train. But the company that I work for actually sells advertising, direct mail campaigns to dealerships. And part of our market strategy in reaching dealers is that a couple of years ago, we created, before the podcast really became, as popular as it is now, but I think the show is going on 3 years. I've been on board about 2 years, but created a show called Auto Dealer Live, and it was to attract the retail auto dealer. So it's a limited audience, but it's limited to our marketplace, the people that we're trying to sell to. And we don't sell anything on the show. We just host the show. We have guests. We have major guests within the auto industry, and it's really taken off. We actually have some big name sponsors in the automobile field. So that's one way that we use video that you guys have mentioned. And another way is our sales team, our actual sales team that calls on dealers. We actually periscope the actual phone calls throughout the day. And it's probably, it's very rarely done, because we actually show you our success and our failure. It's live As you know, Periscope's live, so we don't know what's going to take place, and there aren't that many businesses that will broadcast the inside sales department as they're actually cold calling customers to make sales. So it gets pretty exciting in that way. But it goes back to what you said, and I'm sorry, I see Wake on your name up top, but I don't actually. Is it Wake?
Yeah,
Vivek.
My name is Vivek.
Okay. So one of the things that you mentioned earlier was you felt like video established trust, and right now we are experiencing in the car business world, as you can imagine, the perception of a car salesperson or a car dealer is not the most trustworthy. When you think of trustworthy people, you don't think of a car dealer, right? So one of the things that we're finding that we can help bridge that gap in marketing, especially individual salespeople at dealerships, is through video. Because if you're doing some research on where you want to buy a car and you stumble on a Toyota website and there's all this video of this particular person, you all of a sudden get a better feel for who you're going to be talking with when you get there. You understand a little bit more about their personality. You begin to connect, and it's not as intimidating to walk into the dealership feeling like you already know someone. So video is powerful.
David, you and I need to get together and talk. You get a couple hot buttons with me. I am a staunch advocate of direct mail. I've been doing a lot of direct mail, not so much today as I did in the 80s. In the 80s, I put millions of pieces of direct mail out there on behalf of clients. And there's nothing stronger as a marketing tool than a 4-color printed postcard. I will argue that till the nth degree. But in today's world, you can tie that into a lot of the digital stuff that is going on. So there's a real integrated thing. You could, for a postcard, you come up with a postcard and make a statement about a video that you did, and then put a URL, what do they call them, a QR code. I don't even know. I haven't studied for a while, but you could put a QR code on that postcard to take them to the video that you have just discussed, and then start to engage with the customer that way.
This is exactly what we do, by the way, in our direct mail campaigns. We have literally, there are 14 different ways that a customer can respond to our direct mail piece, which include QR codes, textability, personalized URLs that lead them to a site where you can do credit applications, interview the customer. Pearls. Yes, exactly. So, and one beautiful thing about that and that mail piece is that it's trackable. It's a trackable form of advertising. You can really narrow down your ROI, your return on investment. You can gauge all of that and see if it's successful. It's measurable, where some of the others are a little bit more difficult to measure.
We need to talk. In the 80s, I did a lot of direct mail. In the 90s, I had a client in the insurance industry who was the number one of the top 2 or 3 direct mailers of insurance offers in the whole country. And he taught me a tremendous amount of stuff about direct mail and what to do and how to do it. Actually, I want to engage you because I want to do a chapter in my book, and I want to devote it to direct mail. And we can do case studies about things that I've done over the years. We can do case studies that you can bring into it. So you and I are definitely going to be in contact. If you would, please. If you go to, are you on Google Plus?
I am.
Okay. In the event stream that Vivek created today, I put a link to my Dreaming with Entrepreneurs in Google Plus community.
Okay.
I'd like you to join the community, so you can go in there and link right there and get into the community. We have over 1,300 members in the community, and I'm trying to. I go to the community first to get stuff and content and ideas and what have you. So
I put the Google Plus page on the comment stream. You can see.
Thank you. You're a great technology guy.
David,
thank you. Yes, thank you so much.
Yeah.
David, there's a guy over here in Orlando. You may know who I'm speaking about, Heath Patterson, that has done some wonderful things. He's a car salesman. He's done wonderful things with video, not only to help build the brand, but I mean, to the point that his stuff was so impressive that the way higher ups in the, I think it's, I don't remember who it is, Honda or Toyota, but the way higher ups have him do presentations for employees now. But it's really cool how he's used that as a tool, not just with his customers when he does a sale, but after the sale too. He's doing a remarkable job. I know myself, my background, part of my background is in graphic design, and I used to design websites that I got out of it. Well, recently I did one for a friend, which I ended up getting a bunch of referrals from, so I am doing it more again. But one of the things I do is at the end, after I've built out the website, and I use WordPress, is I create a video for the client showing them everything that they can do. Not every single thing, but, overall, how to run the site, how they can make changes, yada, 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 how to post things. And that has got me more referrals, I think, because I took the time to do that video than any other difference that I made. Yeah, I really think that's it.
We're seeing incredible results with video, and just like you mentioned, and I'm going to, I've kind of put that name in my head already, Heath Patterson, because that's someone that I'll investigate a little bit more. He might be a candidate for our show, but we have...
He's on Google Plus.
Okay. And yeah, we have some examples within the auto industry of, and I can think of two young ladies that really kind of pioneered the video within the auto industry. And they've been so not only recognized, but they have gone on to, in a very short amount of time, like you said, they have gone on to some bigger things. They've gotten some national spotlight and are in much higher positions now as a result of it. But and it all happened organically. It wasn't a plan. It was just a plan to connect with their customers, but they were doing it in a way that was so powerful, the results were hard to ignore.
David, let me ask you this question. Where are you physically located?
I'm in Tampa. Sounds like Laura's right down the street.
Yeah, so, I'm in Eustis.
Okay.
And talk about video marketing, and it sounds like you've really got your hands around it, you and your folks that you work with. Has it changed the dimension of your business to expand beyond Tampa? Because, videos now are international, or have you found that, well, your initial had to be, I want to be able to do a job here in Tampa. The folks who sell the same product that you do in other markets are probably saying, wow, this guy's doing it. I'm going to use his techniques to sell automobiles in my local market. So how have you found that video has kind of changed the way you do business?
Well, for our business, I'm in the business to business world.
Oh, so you're more of an agency.
Yeah. We're an agency that sells to dealers, and we sell over the phone, which affords us the opportunity to sell across the country. So the majority of our clients aren't even here in Tampa or even Florida. We have some, but most of them make up the other part of the country. But when it comes to video on an individual salesperson level, years ago, when you became a car salesman, the first thing you wanted to do was let everybody know that you sold cars, because obviously you want to get prospects into your dealership, just like a real estate agent. Traditionally, the car business has lagged behind trends in the rest of the business world. We're slow to change, However, there's been this discovery of what video is doing for individual salespeople, and now we have individual salespeople that are becoming more well known than the dealership itself in many cases. So that's how they are really taking advantage of it.
Do you have a customer, a client in Cincinnati, Ohio?
I know we do business in Ohio. I'm not off the top of my head. Do I know if there's one in Cincinnati or not? There very well may be.
Maybe I can be an agent for you in Cincinnati, Ohio.
All right, come on now. That would be great.
Steve Dotto. Steve Dotto is watching. That's an honor.
Oh, he's one of my favorite guys.
Yeah, that's an honor, Steve Dotto.
Hey. As a matter of fact, I'm going to jump off here, and maybe Steve will jump in, which would be awesome.
Yeah.
So y'all have a great afternoon. Thanks.
Yeah.
And have a great Labor Day.
Yeah.
See you, Laura. Take care.
Okay.
Did you invite him in?
As against the hangout principle, here there is nothing like inviting people. People have to knock on your door. You either let them in or ignore them, one of the two. So, I cannot invite anyone other than
we verbally harass them,
yeah,
and make them have to come in, or it doesn't look so good to them. Oh wow, what a strategy.
Dotto, I do watch your videos and your tutorials, but yeah, you are saying I'm in the middle of something, he says.
Let's talk about tutorials for a moment, Vivek, because you produce a lot of them, and a lot of them are driven by me, because I will ask you a question about how to do something, and you'll say, "Okay, David."
But you should watch one of the tutorials that Steve Dotto does. He has been in the video and the tutorial field for a long time. So he does a real professional job of teaching. So unlike me, I'm an engineer.
Yeah, you're an engineer that's got a good friend who's a marketer.
Oh, he wants to jump in. Yes, that
okay,
would be great. Okay, David, you were saying something? Oh, we have
I don't know what I was saying. What was I saying? I was saying that if folks, I guess I can make the statement right now that if folks are not, if you don't do video now, get into it. And it doesn't matter what level you get into it, just become a part of it, because that's how folks are communicating today. I don't even know what the statistic is anymore, but I think every moment of every day there are 300 hours. Every moment, every second, there are 300 hours of uploads to YouTube. Is that a kind of a proper statistic?
I think so. Yeah.
I mean, it's just a phenomenal amount of folks, and that's how we communicate. And the reason why we communicate that way, and it works.
Hello, Steve.
Hey, guys.
and B, because we live in a very much a mobile society, and I'm not necessarily a part of the mobile society. A little bit I am, but that's how people view videos, mobilely, away from their desk, on their phones, on their devices. And so that's why there needs to be a huge emphasis on not just the fact that you're producing a video, but who your target audience is and how's the best way to reach that target audience. Okay. Welcome, Steve.
Hi, guys. Thanks for having me in. We've got to figure out a way to let people just kind of watch these things. I was trying to get some work done, and I thought I always like to see what's going on in the blabs, but increasingly it's becoming difficult to jump in and see what people are talking about, because if you get identified, then you go, oh, geez, I should jump in. And anyway, so sorry about being a little reluctant at the beginning.
No, that's fine, because it's pretty invasive the way that everything works. But Vivek has created a technology platform for us that he creates an event in Google Plus as a Hangout event, He and I have, we've been hanging out together for years. So he creates the event. Inside that event is a link to this BLAB discussion. So that's how I get into the BLAB. I go to the event page.
So are you guys simulcasting as a hangout right now?
No.
Why not? Why not, Vivek? Figure it out.
Bandwidth requirements will be too much.
Yeah, we did a similar thing with our webinars the other day. Last week we started in a few. We were launching a new product last week, and in our promotional webinars to start them out, we started the people out as hangouts, and then went through the traditional slideshow, kind of the presentation of what the product was, and at the end for the Q&A, I just created a BLAB room, migrated the people across. I had a couple of people drop off. A couple of people said they didn't appreciate the fact they had to migrate platforms. But we brought, we did 600 people in 3 sessions. So we had quite a few people come into the BLABs. And the cool thing was, of course, once they're in the BLABs, we then were able to generate a whole bunch of additional kind of crowdsourcing of potential people that might be interested in the topic and the product that we were selling, because it was being tweeted out. The Twitter aspect of BLAB is just off the charts. To me, it's exploded my Twitter presence, which is an area that I've never worked really hard on building. I've concentrated on the YouTube channel. So it's as we kind of figure out our way, it's pretty fascinating.
I think it allows people to engage, and of course Google Plus also does allow people to engage, but Google somehow has got that. For whatever reason, has that appearance of being a big guy. So that is probably working against them.
So I'm just going to look at your at Wake Technologies. So what is it you do? You do tutorials on what topics?
Whatever I have a challenge with, I say, Vivek, I need some help. He says, okay, I'll help you, but we're going to do a tutorial on it. I said, fine. What difference does it make?
So it looks like you're doing one on mind mapping software here, or you're using mind mapping to describe it.
I do use mind map.
He's a master of mind maps, and he's a master of a systems process called Prince2.
Okay.
He's done quite a few. Well, actually, we did a series of HOAs on his Prince2 expertise, and it's perceived to be something that just large businesses will work into. But we made the point that if small businesses kind of looked at the process, understood the flow of the process, it would help their businesses tremendously. So
out of curiosity, what mind mapping software do you use?
I use the iMindMap.
Okay.
And
iMindMap. That's one I haven't checked out.
Oh.
I've used MindBup. I've used Mind Manager, which is a little expensive, but it's certainly robust. They try and be a lot more than just a mind mapping software, of course, but those are great tools. Well, that's cool. So do you do it on Windows or PC?
I use it on iPad as well as on PC, Windows.
Okay, now what do you record? Do you use do you use Camtasia then?
No, I use I do a slightly laborious process of recording. I use screen capturing software to capture the mind map being shown.
Okay.
Video capturing software to capture the video, and then
you edit
combine
it all
the
together.
two.
That's a lot of work. Have you checked out Explain Everything on the iPad?
I did. One of the issues I have is there are so many different types of softwares and packages and all the rest of it.
Yeah.
How do you decide? And when the money is tight,
well, Explain Everything is $1.95 or something. It's designed for education, right? And so it's just such a capable tool that if you do a lot of explaining from iPad, I would think that it might be a good choice. For me, how do I decide? Well, because I do so many technology demos, I'm constantly jumping around in different aspects of my life, trying different things. So my email is often a mess, as is my to-do list, because I'm always using different tools. But for my core business, for what, for basically creating the videos and, for building content for the YouTube channel, I don't mess around. I use the same app that I've been using since I started the channel. Really, I use a tool on the Mac called ScreenFlow, and I've just got to know that tool completely intimately. So, it's like my production time is very low from the time that I know what I'm going to say in a video, and I'm kind of prepared for it. And when I sit down here in the studio and start to record, till I have a YouTube product that's ready to go, that's ready to be, packaged with proper titling and, it's been uploaded to YouTube, but it hasn't had all the SEO and all of the writing around it. It's only about 2.5 to 4 hours from the time I start a video till I've got it uploaded. And then it's another couple of hours of work, writing, making sure we have a good title for it, doing the annotations and all of that sort of stuff. But the production process for me has become very, it's shorter than writing a blog post as far as I'm concerned, because I find video easier to do than writing. Plus we can leave some mistakes in. If I misspeak something or if I do something, we can just add a little note into the video, or I can just giggle a little bit, and that gives me a little bit of a pass. So
that brings the humanity back in, rather than making you like a robot and.
Well, it certainly doesn't work for everybody, but for my style and for what I chose to do when I started to kind of recreate the brand online, I wanted that. I wanted that accessibility. So yeah. So and when you're doing television, every second is dear. So when we had 23 minutes and 30 seconds and we had a bunch of sponsor messages to include, I couldn't there was no room for fluff. But on YouTube, there's a little more room for fluff.
Yeah.
You did television?
Yeah, for 15 years, I did a syndicated TV show in Canada. I was kind of Canada's Leo Laporte. I did a technology show.
I was just thinking of Leo Laporte, and Leo Laporte was the leader, but we both were streaming about 5 years ago on a website called stickham.com.
Okay.
And Leo, after I got started, he was real heavy when I got started. And then as I was getting into it, he kind of, I don't know what he was doing, but he kind of backed off a little bit. But he had like 25 million views to the streaming that he was doing. And I had 2.5 million views. So he had 10 times.
Well, he's invested heavily in this whole concept of online and streaming.
What's he doing? What's he doing today?
Oh, he's got his Twit studios. He spent millions of dollars on that little on his studio space.
Huh. I never met him, but I certainly have followed him over the years. And boy, that's a name from the past, Leo Laporte. Actually, as you were talking about some of the things that you're doing, I immediately thought of him. Well, Vivek, I think we might be approaching the witching hour, if you will.
Yeah. Okay.
I have to get up and walk around because my knee's getting really stiff.
Thanks, Steve. He has dropped off, and it is, I think, it's time for us to wrap up this session as well. So,
David, thank you for coming in. You and I absolutely are going to be talking in the future.
Absolutely. Sounds good. It was very nice to be in and meet you guys. So we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
Thank you very much for your input and contribution.
Absolutely.
Thank you. Yeah.
Okay, Vivek. Let me ask you a question now. Well, it's just you and I right now. The comments on the right-hand side of the page, are they archived?
There is.
Or do we lose them?
Some seem to be archived. Some seem. I don't know what's going on. There was some discussion about that as well.
Is it something we should like paste and copy and paste to keep them or not?
Yeah, I'm thinking about that. The discussion.
It seems
particularly the new folks that we're meeting, and you and I are meeting new folks every single day.
Sorry, Steve?
Yeah, the comments seem to save a certain number of them when in your recorded one.
Yeah,
but if you do what I mean, when I want to save the comments, I just copy and paste them into an Evernote note at some point. Just if you want to be able to go through them all, and they do copy and paste just like they will out of Hangouts. That's what I was doing in Hangouts too, because I use Webinar Jam as my Hangout tool, and it never saved the comments properly. So
yeah,
it'd be nice to have that option. Sorry, I don't know why. That's the second time it happened. I don't think my fan manager is working right on my Mac Pro, and it just stopped and decided to restart. So I apologize for dropping out there in the middle.
Well, that's okay. We're gonna break off. We've been going for about an hour now,
yeah.
But thank you very much for
thank you for joining, and thank you.
Actually, I'd love to have you as a member of our Dreaming with Entrepreneurs in Google Plus community.
Sure.
Do you have a Google Plus profile?
I do indeed. Dottotech or Steve Dotto, you'll find me there. I will send you an invite. I will actually send you an invite to the community. Oh, good, great. We'll have a look. Thank you so much.
We'd love to have you. We've got over 1,300 members, and they're all over the world, and so it's a pretty active community, and that a lot of posting getting done, and a lot of interaction, and a lot of our theme.
David, Steve, you asked me what's it about me, and David essentially gave you the what part of the whole thing. my aim is actually to integrate, simplify life. So I always start with why.
That's a good way.
I always start with why. So that's my whole mantra. So
I always say that it's easy to see what technology will do for you by reading the box, but what it will do to you is far more important than why you want to be using it. Those are the things that I always try and carry through in my story. So I'm glad to hear that you're gonna be very successful by following that mantra.
And Vivek says if he can educate me, he can educate anybody.
Well, there you go. It's nice to have challenges in life.
I certainly challenge him.
Good stuff. Well, I'll jump out and let you guys wrap things up. But it was nice to meet you both, and I'm sure we'll see you here in Blab in the future.
We absolutely will see each other again. Thank you for coming in, Steve. Thank you for your time.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Okay, David. So
you remember how many folks we had yesterday? There was...
we had just around the same amount of people today, but today we had Steve Dotto, so that's
more people come into this than we saw in HOAs.
Yeah, we had
I mean, we've reached in our 5 blabs, we've reached approaching 200 folks.
Okay, so David, any last thoughts before I close?
No. I'll try to figure out where I am with Twitter, and we'll fix it tomorrow.
Okay.
Tomorrow, it's an early day for me in terms of leaving the house.
Yeah, tomorrow it's the 6th question, so we need to set up the event and schedule the blab and okay. So time to wrap up. As I always say, integrate, simplify life.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.